welcome you all to a special election day live. Y'all know usually I don't do them this early, but this is a special, the problem with. So we're going to be unpacking a few things about the problem with baby boomers and where this could actually play out in this particular election because this is not just your typical incumbent going in for re-election. This is going to be something really grand to see the turnout from all different generations. So we have blowers coming in. Welcome, welcome. We have a special guest today, a fellow business owner as well as a content creator from here right in Atlanta, Georgia, which is typically a red state. I'm thinking that Georgia is going to deliver a red state, a red Republican. They're going to present a nomination again for, I think it's going to go Trump, but we will see what the ties are doing. I know that there was a very big push in my particular community that they were pushing for to turn the tide blue. But I also just came from South Carolina over the weekend, and they are absolutely still. They're absolutely still. They're red. They're red. There was a lady. A tree fell on her mobile home. She said she didn't wait to get to the polls to vote for Trump.
You going in and out when you talk. You going up and down or in and out. I don't know if it's those headphones or something, but it's going in
Oh,
and
it
out.
might be the headphones. But thank you so much for letting me know that. But we have people coming in, African millennial. Welcome, welcome. And without further ado, I'm going to let you take it away, Brother Sub-Zero. I'm going to come on out and jump down in the chat, and we are going to get this conversation started. All right.
Okay. Well, brothers and sisters, I'm a guest. I have a YouTube channel, Subzero3639. You know, I I guess I could say I'm a conservative. I wouldn't say I'm a Republican per se. I am conservative. I seek inconsistencies in liberty and real liberty when you're talking about tyrannical government and police. Police is part of tyrannical government. So I don't think Republicans understand that. So so I'm a little bit more of a purist, if you will. That being said, that's you're not here for that. What we're here for in the subject that I was asked to come on here and talk about was just the baby boomer generation. And I mentioned this a few times. I'm one of the guys that let me first start off by saying I'm from Montgomery, Alabama, born and raised. I respect my elders. I'm not one of these people that drag older people like I see some people on YouTube really being disrespectful to people that took bricks, took, you know what I'm saying, people that marched, protest, could have put their lives on, ain't no could have put their lives on the line for black people. Um, Omega, could you take the comment down so they can see my channel, my moniker, if you could? Thank you. But like let me say this, man. I'm for respecting our elders, and I've never been one of the ones that feels like black people should come and disrespect people who paved the way, right, for them to be here. We stand on the shoulders of our ancestors. We stand on the shoulders of people that came before us, and that includes baby boom generations, people born in the 40s and on up to I think the late 60s. Well, no, maybe. No, I'd say 50s. I don't know what you call X. I think X starts in the 60s. I don't know. But anyway, I'm Generation X. Let me say this, man. There are a few reasons why people have been upset and angry towards.
I just wanted to add that Generation X starts in the 70s. Yes.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So let me say this. There are a few reasons why people have been upset. First of all, I hear people say you didn't build anything. Um, do they have a point? I think they do. I think you can look at the discrimination that they faced, and you can look at the literal things that were happening to them, and you can look at what could have been done, what they chose not to do, and they didn't do that. I don't beat them down for that though, and the reason I don't beat them down is because who knows, man? A lot of these people, when you talking about what they were taught in education and what they learned, it wasn't the information age. It wasn't like they came up in an era where they had information at their fingertips like we do. So a lot of these baby boomers weren't. I'll give them a little pass on that part, right? Now, where I think they really have hurt black people is with the destruction of the family. I think a lot of these baby boomers were actually, if you go into the mid 80s, a lot of them were in their 20s and 30s and stuff like that. That's when you'll see a lot of them um, really making a lot of bad decisions as far as and if I was on my channel, I would go and find that ABC special where they were talking to women in the 80s, and women in the 80s were literally saying, "I don't need a man. I can raise my child without a man." Right? That was literally the thing that people were saying in the 80s. Women were literally saying that and telling people that. And I never forget the look in these people's faces, like, "Damn, are you serious? Do you really believe that you know that you can raise a child without a child? I mean, without a father? You know what I'm saying? Uh, Single motherhood. I'm gonna try to look it up and see if I can find it, and I might could play it, but it was just a documentary that they had about the 80s and how back in the 80s, man, it was an epidemic of women having, and it was at like 50% back then, and this caused an issue in our communities. I blame the baby boomer generation, that generation of fathers. Now you might say, well, what happened? Well, first, what happened was the women started receiving money, and the women just say, okay, well, if I'm receiving money, I don't really necessarily need a man in the house like that. Which that is a crack in our culture or whatever you want to call it. I believe black people have a culture, which is what you call any non biological behavior is what I call a culture. So I think that there was an issue that was happening around that time where black people decided not to raise their kids, not to be in the house, not to be in the home, and there was a disconnect between fathers and their kids, and it just is went from 50% to 70% in a matter of 30 years. We have to take. I ain't gonna say we. The baby boom generation started that. Before then, it was just a problem. It wasn't something good, but it was just a problem that they had, in the community where single moms were, an issue, but we're talking about maybe 10, 15%. Then all of a sudden it skyrocketed. What happened? Why did it skyrocket so fast? Government programs. Now, this is where I blame the baby boomer generation. Once they did that, once they saw that, because mistakes can be made, right? Once you see that, where I feel like the baby boomer generation just they're kind of like, how should I put this? This is gonna sound real. I'm gonna be respectful, but I'm gonna tell the truth. It's almost like there have been animals that are extinct, right? Throughout a species of animals. The dodo bird, they say the dodo bird was just not intelligent enough to, and it did things that would cost the dodo bird its life, and it didn't have the ability to adapt, to respond to stimuli. That's one of the signs of life is respond to how do you carbon based, respond to stimuli is one of them. I forget the rest of it. Reproduce, whatever. But that being said, when it comes to the baby boomer generation, they kind of locked us into a cycle of failure because not only did the baby boomer generation decide to vote Democrat and stay Democrat, they, in spite of seeing that that was a failure, right? And there's a guy by the name of economist by the name of Walter E. Williams. He did a good intentions uh, thing in the 80s. Let me see, Walter E. Williams, good intentions. And if you go watch it, it's from the 80s. It's like 27 minutes long. And if you watch it, he's just going through and looking at the government and how black people have just married themselves. They were literally dog headed. I mean, you could. I remember as a kid, I never forget this. My brother's a conservative. I was in elementary school. I think Republicans won the election, and this black dude was mad, and he worked as a teacher's aide, right? And so the black guy, his name was Mr. Purnell, and he was taking me. He was supposed to take me to Like, we supposed to play Oregon Trail sometimes, and he never would allow me to play Oregon Trail. He would let all the kids. He went around twice and never let me play. And it was because I asked him a question, and I had to literally have my mom come up there. I asked him a question. I said, "Why is it so bad when Republicans win elections? How does that hurt black people?" He gave me an answer because they racist. Because they like, and Democrats ain't racist. And man, what I want to say, and I'm taking him out. I'm like in the fourth grade. He said this, and this dude hated my guts, but he's a baby boomer, right? Because he was in his 40s, I think, 30s and 40s. So this guy was probably born in the 50s, baby boom generation, hated my guts and took it personal that I had the gall to look him in his face and ask him to explain why I should be happy for Democrats to win elections and upset when Republicans win, right? Um, it's not just that, man. Me being a black conservative, I've been in the black community and had conversations with baby boomers, older black people when it comes to politics. And I say, hey, this strategy does not work. This has failed us. You can look here, you can look there, you can see at a state and local level that, and even at a national level, that it has failed black people to vote, Democrat 99%. I just think that's dumb and stupid, right? So when I would say that, I've ran into a myriad of black baby boom generation people that won't even listen to reason, that won't even sit and say, you know what, you are right, this isn't working. That is the problem with the baby boom generation. And usually when somebody says the Republicans are same as Democrats, that's usually when somebody's trying to make a case. I talk about the failure of us putting 99% of our faith in one party. I think we put 99% of our hope in one party. So who should you really be upset at right now? If I give two people some money, I give one guy $1 and I give another guy 99 cents, $99, and I want something back from the store, and the guy that I gave $1 to try to bring back something, but he half-assed it, right? And the other guy don't bring a damn thing back. I gave him $99. This is all the money I got. Who are you gonna be most upset at? You should be upset at the guy that you gave the $99 to. But black people, it doesn't work like that. With black people, they're upset at the guy that they gave the dollar to, expecting him to do something. See, guys, I don't expect Republicans to do shit for black people because Republicans don't get votes from black people. Republicans get votes from other people. Democrats are the ones that should be doing things for black people. Democrats are the ones that should be pushing for a wall to be built. But instead, Democrats are pushing for the wall not to be built. In fact, that's why Donald Trump won last time, because he literally said he was going to build a wall, and that resonated with people. Black people are suffering. I'm a child. When I was a child in Montgomery, Alabama, I remember there was a time when my dad used to take me to the construction site, and it was all black men laying the framework, doing the doggone foundation, pouring the concrete, doing the wiring, doing the plumbing, doing the sheetrock, doing the paint. Then my dad was the painter, doing the roofing, doing the bricks. I'm talking about I know black dudes that did all that. And they were skilled artisans at this shit. They've been doing this shit. They dad has taught them, and they dad has taught them. This shit probably came from slavery. You hear me? Like, black people had trades and skills, right? And Montgomery is one of the most densely populated black areas in the country, guys. It's on the census as one of the top 10 densely black populated cities in the United States. If I go to Montgomery right now and look at all the new construction, it's nothing but Mexicans. Nothing but Mexicans, right? Now, anybody with a brain, and I'm not trying to disrespect or disparage um, black people. What we say? What are black men doing now to get black women and children out of property? You mean poverty? You mean poverty? Well, I myself don't have that problem. I don't have that problem. So I get what you're saying, but that don't work for me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm building businesses. I've done pretty good for myself. So you're probably not talking about me. So I'm not gonna answer for all black men. I don't think every black man is just sitting on his ass and don't want shit out of life. That right there is somebody that's probably, dare I say, sister, you probably had some shit happen, and you taking it out on all of us. Be fair and balanced. I'm fair when it comes to brothers. I hold brothers accountable when they on some fuckery, and our whole sisters accountable on when they're on some fuckery. But to just say, what are black men doing now? Is there a fair thing for women to ask us? Yeah, I don't have a problem with women asking black men to step up. I have no problem with that shit. I don't think black men should get mad about that shit. But I just think, there are black men that are doing certain things. And black men right now are starting to think critically and starting to say, well, shit, I don't really want to fuck with the Democrats. I want to vote with Donald Trump because I want school choice. I want a wall built. Shit, black unemployment will drop if you stop these damn Mexicans from coming across this fence. See, that's thinking critically. See, I have no problem with black people. I have no problem with black people that are critical thinkers and can sit here and cite specifics as to why they would do what they're doing. But when it comes to baby boomers, there is no logic. There is no logic. It's all racism. It's all racism. And see, now I could really dive into that shit about racism and white supremacy because that's a fallacy of fallacious, if that's the way you say it. Fallacious, it's full of fallacy. That's just not correct. It's not racism when you're talking about, um, where black people are collectively in everything, if they in all areas. No, 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 no. Just go and study certain things about black people culturally, and we don't have no culture. We shut down debate. We shut down critical thinking. We shut down logic. And so what happens is anybody that said, "Hey, man, if you look it up, when they survey black kids, in all surveys, black kids are on average seen to be around 30 minutes a night in doing their homework. Um, so I'm not a gentrification guy, man. I don't even. If you too sorry to get up off your ass and get a skill, and you worry about a motherfucker coming in the neighborhood fixing up houses, and you can't compete, that's your ass. You deserve to get gentrified. I don't even fear gentrification. Shit, you ain't gonna stop me. You gonna keep me from out of no damn where. That's the way I feel about it. Like I'm different. I don't bitch about gentrification. That's for other people to talk about. I don't talk about that shit. But when it comes about the black community, when it comes to the black community, yeah, but how are you going? Hold on, Diamond Princess. And see, this is the thing. I wanted to try to make a point, but people keep coming at me, so I got to answer you. Diamond Princess, sister, you are completely wrong. You're just completely wrong, sister. Building a wall won't help us get our shit together. We need to focus on us and getting out poverty, right? Poverty, right? Which is, But let me say this right here, man. When you're talking about the wall, let's look at the state of California. Black people, when you want to talk about California, black people are getting ran out of their neighborhoods. I played a video on my channel yesterday of a black woman talking about getting terrorized by MS-13. These Hispanics come across this fence. Come across, not the fence. They come over here in this country and they compete. They look out for themselves. They get their own communities and they don't fuck with black people, right? Not only that, their children are, let's say you come over here, you don't know English, right? And let's say there's a factory that has jobs. Let's follow this. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna go ahead and break this shit down economically. Okay, let's get into economics. Okay, you got factory A and factory B. Okay, factory A hires whoever, illegal or American, right? But what they notice is when they hire illegals, first of all, I ain't gonna say they work harder, but illegals, you can pay them $5 an hour under the table. Illegals, when you do them wrong, they really don't want to go to the system a lot of times because they're illegal, right? So the factory makes a better bottom line, right? Factory B, for example, only hires Americans because there's a fence in the country that factory B is in, right? And when you have a fence, now they hire Americans. They can only hire, whatever the people are of that country. And so what happens is they come in there and you treat them wrong, they're gonna file a suit on your ass. They're gonna call the EEOC. They know their rights. So you can't treat them any kind of way. That's the second reason why. Secondly, factory A hires people with low skilled labor. So if a motherfucker come across a fence, even though he may not speak English, he's low skilled labor. He may have no skills, but because he can push a button, they hire him, right? Whereas the black kid that comes out in the country where factory A is, he comes out of a failing school system, right? So what happens? He gets out, right? And this you can look this up. What is it? 1 in 7 of black kids can even read at a basic level. No, I'm sorry, not basic, proficient level. 48% of black kids can't even read at a basic level. In Baltimore, they went through 5 schools and couldn't find one child reading at grade level, right? Like girl or boy. So this is happening all over the country, right? So when you get out, you're low skilled labor. You can't qualify for a college degree. So what happens? You go and you get into these situations where you try to get a job at this factory, right? But the problem is they only have 500 slots. 85% of those are Mexicans, right? Because they, first of all, they can pay them less. They can treat them, they can work them and don't pay overtime. Mexican ain't gonna say shit. Black people, we know, nigga, you gonna have to pay me. You see how this shit work? This is why people don't believe in hiring African Americans. So our unemployment literally spikes when illegals come in because they take jobs in things from black people, black men. So they are competing with black men for those jobs. That's just the bottom line. Now, if you build a wall, right? And see, this is the thing, you have to kind of go and walk people through this shit. You build a wall, it creates a bottleneck of where play entry points where they can and can't come in America. Either they come across the border legally, or they sneak. They might find 1 or 2 ways of getting in, but it ain't gonna be an ocean of people flowing into this motherfucker whenever they get good and ready, right? That helps the black community. So black men will become more financially viable, and this is what you saw when the wall, which we've got about 500 miles of wall being built, that has been built, and black unemployment actually dropped. This is why black men supported Trump the first time he ran, because see how I'm thinking this shit through logically. I'm not just saying vote Democrat. You know what I'm saying? 90%, 80% of black men are going to vote Democrat today. Maybe less, maybe 75, who knows? And 97% of black women are going to vote Democrat. Maybe lower than that, who knows? But that's a problem. You should think before you just go and vote willy nilly. You get what I'm saying? Now, that's all I was saying. I explained that it just, I don't even think that's something that we need to really worry about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Says the problem is we're not getting along and loving each other like we supposed to, and that is a threat to society. No matter if it's Democrats or Republicans, they are not our friends. I'm not talking about friends. We're just talking about needs. I don't have to love Republicans. I think that's people think because of what I said made sense. It didn't. None of this had to do with the heart of Republicans loving black people or Republicans love us. None of that came out of my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Love starts with each other, trusting each other, and paying attention to each other. We will become a threat to society, and you will sell out of our community, such as Jada Pinkett, 50 Cent. Oh, I am. Are you saying I'm gonna sell out, fan? Really? Okay. We getting run around our neighborhood because we're not fighting property owner to stop raising rent. You can't stop. Let me explain something to you. You can't stop the property owner from raising rent because property taxes go up. If they build a shopping center around the corner, see, this is the lack of under. See, let me explain something to y'all, man. This is going. I gotta die. See, now we gotta die. There's a reason black people think like they do politically. Black people don't understand math. If you go and look at it, black people really are underrepresented in math and sciences. We hate math. We despise that shit. You know why? Because we put 30 minutes a night in on homework. And so what happens is when you go to college, you major in shit like psychology, childhood education. You don't go into electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, computer engineering, because that requires math, and we don't like that, right? But one of the biggest problems with that, we don't understand economics. We just don't. When you build a shopping center or you do any type of improvement in an area, the property taxes will go up. And people, that's you can't just fight the landlord. No, you can't raise my rent. Well, what you gonna do? How you gonna fight them? It's my property. I charge what I want to charge. It's a free market system. You want socialism? You want rent controls? See, this is black people like, and then you turn around and tell black men to compete. I'm saying, motherfucker, get off your ass, get out there, get you some skills, and learn how to compete. Get a valuable skill. Go to HVAC school, plumbing. You may not be good at math. Get a trade or skill and start learning how to compete that way. But no, that ain't what black people want to do. Black folks we would rather people just build a system to protect us so I don't have to do it. I don't have to get off my lazy, sorry ass and fix my own shit. No, the landlord took the rent up $100 and I can't afford it. Man, fuck you worry about $100 for? Like shit, get off your ass. Work on you. Go to school, get a trade, get a skill. I got students I've trained that are making $100,000. I trained them. I met students. One brother I met was unemployed, sleeping on his couch, depressed. He told me, he said, "Man, it changed my life. I took this class you teach, sub, and it changed my life, man. I'm making $50 an hour. I trained him in 3 months. Shit, man, like it's so much money out here. This is why I'm for the H-1B visa being changed. This is another reason. I'm thinking logically. I'm not. This is what baby boomers don't do a lot of times. They just vote Democrat. Trump is changing the H-1B visa. They bitching about it. You know why? Because me being a database developer, being in IT for so long, what happens in IT is black people get railroaded a lot of times because a lot of these Indians get these jobs, and you'll ace an interview. A lot of my students are ace an interview sometimes, won't get a call back. You know why? Because they're looking for an Indian to fill that position. These motherfuckers coming in here on visas, standing on the backs of the work that our ancestors did in this country, and then they have the gall and audacity to look at black people and the descendants of these people that built this country and take the jobs and opportunities from us. People from all over Asia are doing that. And right now, Trump is fighting that shit, getting rid of the damn H-1B visa program. He's trying to cut that shit because you got 1 million people a year, 2 million people a year flooding into this country, taking over. They've taken over Silicon Valley. Black people can't even get into Silicon Valley. They done took that shit completely over. You see what I'm saying? That's why we have rent control. Exactly, which tells me that when you talk about you can't fight property from raising rent, I don't really talk about my personal business on the internet at all. I really don't. No, yeah, but I'm with somebody. Let's put it like that. But says you can't fight property from raising rent. That's why we have rent controls. So let me get this straight. So see, that's the problem I have with people. So that where do you live, Diamond Princess? Where do you live? What Democrat shithole do you live in? Because I know you live in one. I know you do. I bet you got homelessness all over the place. I bet you got rioting and shit like that going on. And I bet it's a navy blue county. Just looking at the shit you're saying. And I'm not being disrespectful. This ain't got shit to do with you. I guarantee you it's ran by some Democrat that promised a bunch of free shit. So now we're gonna have to control the rent. Which Indian indigenous or from India? I'm talking about India, man. I'm talking about people H-1B visa. Indigenous wouldn't need an H-1B visa. Diamond Princess. Illegal immigration won't stop because both Republicans and yeah, and that's why they didn't like Trump. That's why you're right, Jose Garcia. They didn't like Trump. That's right. Republicans did. Yep. Establishment Republicans have been bought out, which is why Trump didn't take no money. Trump didn't give a shit. And so what he did was he built the wall any fucking way because that's what resonated with the people. And he's built almost 500 miles of wall right now, which benefits us. So I agree. None of my business. I know your ass live in a Democrat stronghold. Where you talking? You want government to force motherfuckers to tell them they can't raise their rent on their shit. You can't. Like that's what I'm saying. Black people. This is the thing. Black people have been really socially engineered through. Really, I'm gonna go and say it. I'm gonna say the J word. No, I'm not. The people that wear the things, the little circular hats on their heads. Y'all know who I'm talking about. They've been socially engineered for years and don't even see it. We're straight. We speak Marxism. We ooze that shit. Marxism. We don't understand why our shit fucked up, but we ooze Marxism as soon as we open our mouth. We don't know what Marxism really means. We don't. We don't know. And we think we're oozing that shit like the Black Lives Matter people. Go on their website and read what the hell they believe in. There's no way in hell you should be a supporter of Black Lives Matter if you really understand who those people really are. They have pretty much come out and said we're trained Marxists. Google it. Literally admitted it twice. We are trained Marxists. Who trained you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's yep, the upper class. Yeah, and that's exactly who Kamala Harris is. You're right, Jose Garcia. But black women don't know that. They think she's a sister girl because she's an AKA. She gonna get in there and you ain't gonna ever see her ass in an AKA again outfit if she get in for another 4 years. You will never see that shit. She won't come to no national convention, none of that shit. She don't fuck with us like she don't fuck with black folks. She don't. Um, let's see. BLM is a joke. Yeah. We have to compete for jobs no matter if we have a degree or not. Yeah. Um, what's your point? Diamond Princess. Agreed. We do. Now let me get back to my main subject of the video because we getting off on a tangent. Um, let me say this. Black people historically have really gotten the game played on them, and the main ones that I really think started this was the baby boom generation. I think they really failed, man, as a collective, as it comes to the community. They failed economically, they failed politically, they failed. You say, well, we got civil rights pushed through. What did Martin Luther King say before he died? He said, "I fear I've integrated my people into a burning house." I just don't think that really black people have benefited collectively from the civil rights movement at all. Like not voting rights. We have over 10,000 elected officials to this day that have been elected. Back when it first passed, I think we had 300. And out of those 10,000 elected officials, black people have not moved economically. Black people are stuck, right? Um, Black people just are not doing well. And I think you see it in many of these areas. Baltimore, there's a reason Kim Klasick, whatever her name is, actually resonated with that ad she had. I don't know if she's gonna win. I hope she does, but the sister resonated when she went and walked through like this dude, John Conyers, whatever his name was, over that district in Baltimore, and she was like, "Look at this, man! Look at this abject failure." Baby boom generation refused to hold these people accountable and pull their votes back. They refused. The baby boom generation are the ones that solidified the solidarity of black people, saying that they are strong, staunch Democrat. Baby boom generation. They're the ones that did that. They're the ones that shamed anybody that even thought Republican. Jackie Robinson, before he died, Jackie Robinson was like, "Why are y'all like marrying one party?" This was in the 70s. He's like, "Man, why y'all marrying yourselves to the Democrats, man? Don't do that." Jesse Jackson sold us out. Jesse Jackson was staunch against abortion, right? You can read the writings and comments of Jesse Jackson. He couldn't stand abortion. He said it was basically black genocide. He was saying that shit in the 70s. When he ran for president, they bought his ass. Has Jesse ever said anything about it since then? These black Democrats have been bought out. I know somebody that was working with what's the lady out of Texas, out of Houston? Uh, Sheila Jackson Lee, one of them. Cynthia McKinney, one of them. Anyway, she said, man, that lady, whatever she said, she's working with her, she's working with the Black Caucus, man. She said that lady is straight about getting illegals, DACA. That's all she talked about, illegal immigration, trying to help the illegals to get over, to get voting rights, to get free shit. This is a black woman that her constituency put her in for she was put in by black people. They gave her, put her in. She went to Washington, got up there with them folks, and now they like, man, the tea leaf times are changing, man. They outproducing black people. You got to be thinking about the future. So you don't help black people. They're not gonna have the numbers to really influence elections in a minute. We need to help the illegals because they outproducing blacks, and their kids are born as you know what I do? I agree with you. If they are for sale, then why the fuck are we trying to buy one side? I agree. I agree with what you just said. They are all for sale. Facts. So if you know that, right? If you know you working a deal, if I'm doing business, right, and I'm going to McDonald's and they giving me shitty service, right? They know every day you're gonna come right back and buy that same stinking ass, old ass cold fries and hard ass burger been sitting up under that light for like a damn hour and a half. They know that. They know you're gonna bring your ass right back. They so bold with it, they're telling you, man, you'll bring back tomorrow. Oh, they'll say some. That's just like Joe Biden saying, "You ain't vote for me, you ain't black." That's just like him. That's just like you going to a McDonald's that gives you shitty service, and they telling you, man, shit, you bring your ass back tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be back tomorrow. Shit, bye. Like that with an attitude with that shit, right? Or that's like them saying, you know what, man, if you eat at McDonald's, you're gonna starve to death. That's something we're gonna put y'all back in chains. Like, bitch, I ain't gonna starve. Shit, what you talking about? You out your mind. I ain't starving. But why? So what I'm saying is, if it's like that, and you're doing service with people, you don't have to like my ass. But there, it needs to become. I need to understand how to position myself to where I can benefit from the winds of change. See, the baby boom generation doesn't do that. They staunch Democrat. Most black people are Democrat. I'm the cool now. And you only hear that shit when I say what I'm saying. When I say, hey man, you need, but Republicans are this. Okay, so I'm not the one. Black people are voting overwhelmingly the other way, not in my direction. So I'm not the one that needs to hear that. They are the Democrats, the black people that's lined up, that's cheating up in Philadelphia right now, not letting GOP poll watchers go in and watch the polls, cheating to try to help Joe Biden win. Right? That's those are the people that need to hear that shit. That really think they're gonna get something for it. They probably, you know what? Those poll watchers, those people running those polls are probably getting paid individually. They've been bought their damn selves. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't think that a lot of black people, when it comes to politics, we approach this shit like children. We think we motherfuckers. If the only if what this brother said is true, which they all off for sale, then shit. Why are we so in love with Democrats, man? Shit, we need to be like whoever the fuck, political atheists. You know what I'm saying? Uh, whether my point is whether or not immigrants are taking our jobs, you have to compete with them for jobs. But jobs we complaint about we don't want, and that's a lie. That is the biggest myth that they tell about illegal immigration is that illegal immigrants coming over here and they picking fruit. That's the biggest fucking lie in the world. Okay. Fruits a lot of times are picked by damn machines now. That shit is not like that. You got a few places in California in certain areas where they pick fruit, but that's bullshit. No, they coming over here taking all the construction jobs. They coming over here taking all the damn restaurants in the back. When you go back, it ain't nothing but Mexicans. I'm talking about in Atlanta. And these motherfuckers is making $12, $15, $20. Call a Mexican that's been in America for 5 years and ask them to give you a price for your roof and watch what they tell you. And see if they give you that cheap ass price. I know. I flipped houses. I know Mexicans that are millionaires over here fucking with us, man. Fucking with real estate investors and shit. I was a full-time real estate investor for 6 years. So trust me, I done a lot of shit in my life. Nah. The Mexicans, that's bull. That's the biggest lie in hell that the damn Mexicans don't do shit. They come over here and they get the damn, they pick fruit. Man, please. Uh, let's see. It says the civil rights generation failed us. Baby boomers have failed us. And the dot comments. So we know we have to change the game. Yeah, we do. We do. We need to change the game. We don't have to compete against these folks. We have to compete against ourselves mentally. Are you an entrepreneur? You don't want to do something bigger and better to challenge you. So, I mean, I believe, look, man, let me explain something. Basic fundamentals in government and civics. If you don't have borders, you don't have a country. If any motherfucker can just come in your shit and just open up a business next to you, I'm talking about anybody in the fucking world that can, if he could get to South America or Mexico, all you gotta do is just walk straight north. He'd come up here and set up next to you. You don't have a damn country. You need borders. We need borders. We need walls. You need that shit. That is the oldest damn principle. When it comes to government, that is actually the basic fundamental function of government. Protect borders. That is one of the basic like bullet points. If you say, what is the fundamental function of government? Before they even had taxes and build roads and all that shit, they first said government function is to protect borders from enemies, foreign, quote unquote, and domestic. That's why when they talk about, that's why when everybody swears into a government job, they put their hand and they say they swear in to protect enemies, foreign and domestic. I'm talking about if you're a police officer, if you're a damn Supreme Court judge, justice, whatever. You always have to swear in, and that's what you say when you join the military. Why is that? The fundamental basic function of government is to protect borders. Now, if you don't have no wall, you don't have a country. And this is basic under civics. This is basic civics. We should all know this. But this just goes to show, and I'm not trying to say I'm smarter. I'm sure you guys are highly intelligent. I'm not trying to insult anybody and talk like I'm better than anybody because I'm not. Okay. But what I'm saying is our education system has failed black people because when it comes to certain things, we may be brilliant, but when it comes to government and politics and shit like that, a lot of us are backwards, man. We don't know shit. And so we have to kind of go through the basics of understanding the shit. And it's really sad and sickening that is like that. I don't want us to fall by the wayside. There are certain things that this administration is doing that benefit black people. I just named all three: school choice, build a wall, H-1B visas. Those are three things, right? I'm not even gonna go into the HBCU thing. I'm not gonna do that. But the H-1B visa benefits us because black people in tech will actually get a fighting chance if you stop all these damn Indians from coming over here taking all the damn jobs. Guys, let me tell you something. I do IT. I live in Atlanta. I got students making $50, $60 hours, $50, $60 an hour. Hit me up, Subzero3639 at gmail.com if you want to be trained. Oh my God, you just said something. Well, why do they have walls in other countries? And you said walls would not stop immigrants from coming in this country. Yeah, legally. And if anything, a wall builds a bottleneck, Diamond Princess. This is, and I'm not trying to be funny. This gonna sound real chauvinist. This is why women just don't need. Sometimes women just make like this is why women make excuses. You just want to. That is a poorly constructed argument, sister. Don't tell me that a damn wall. They got. Have you looked into the wall? They notice the media don't want you to talk about it. I can't name too much they took away from it. No, I really can't. Nope. I can't name too many things that they took. I have to really think about that for a second. I don't have to think about shit that benefits us. And so did the parents for not educating us right. Agreed. I actually agree with you right there. Education is something that right now, school choice, man. That's what I was just talking about. If they push that damn school choice through and you get a voucher for your child, think about it this way. Let's say you're a parent, you low income, you ain't got no money, you struggling. You know your child, you got a 5-year-old starting kindergarten. You know damn well you don't want to send him to this bad school, but you ain't got no choice because you zoned to go to that school. You gotta send him to that school. You can't send him across town to the white school with the white kids with the better suburbs or to the private school. Lord knows you can't send that because it costs $1,200 a month and you ain't got that, right? So what do? You send your son or daughter to the failing school. By the time they in the second or third grade, they can't even spell their damn name. Like this, the type of shit going on, right? And what happens is this is a cycle now because now black kids are behind. And so you graduate high school without a basic understanding of government, politics, math, science, reading. Like you so fucked up, you don't know shit, right? Now that doesn't mean you're stuck there. See, I'm not like the typical person and feel sorry for, oh well, you're stuck. And you just stuck there. There's nothing you can do. No, it's a lot of shit you could do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit you could do. You know what I'm saying? To change your situation. Just because you graduated high school, guys, I had a 1.9 GPA out of high school. Now I was taking calculus and trigonometry, but I wasn't doing them to chasing basketball and girls. I ain't studying. I was just, man, if I get a D and pass, I'm good. And a D was passing. So I'm like, fuck it. Give me a 64 and I'm good. That's all I wanted. I didn't care about really trying to worry about a scholarship because I felt like I'm gonna go to college regardless. I didn't worry about that. And it was backwards and stupid what I did. I went to community college, and that's an easier way for you to make it. But you can make it. That doesn't mean it's just because you graduate high school failing doesn't mean you can't make it. But now that parent, I just gave you that analogy. Let's say somebody say, look, every year the state of whatever fill in the blank gives $15,000 per student, right? We're going to take that $15,000 and for 9 months out the year, we're going to divide it out. So we're looking at roughly, I don't know, about $1,400 a month, somewhere in there, $1,500, something like that, right? Maybe, yeah, $1,500. Yeah, $1,600 actually. $1,600 a month for 9 months out the year. You can send your son or daughter to any school in the city that you live in. What are you gonna do? You're gonna send your child to the best school you can send them to. You're gonna send them to that damn academy, with that all boys academy that you couldn't afford, that was $800 a month or $1,000 a month, right? And let's look at it on the reverse side. You're a school teacher, you got a PhD, you teach out there with the white kids, but you're black. You got a passion for black kids, but you know you don't want to deal with all that fuckery, right? And you don't want to go and work. And you like, well, shit, this school here is actually paying me more. In this school system, I'm actually making $90,000 a year for me to work here. So let me go and stay here. But then somebody said, hey, they passed this thing, $15,000 a year. You're like, well, shit, I can get a classroom of 20 kids, which is pretty small, and make $300,000. Of course, I would have to pay for, I have to register with the state and as an educator, and you would have to do certain things. But you could righteously get that $300,000 sent your way. You could also, what else could you do? I mean, you could create schools, opportunities. My sister has a PhD in education. Man, you can get 100 black students. That's $1.5 million. You can get you some little small storefront, 2,500 square feet, 3,000 square feet. Teach them 100 black students. Easy. And you got $1.5 million split three ways with the teacher and people paying it. So black people can start educating our own. See, that shit will become easy for us because now people like Umar Johnson ain't got to ask black people for shit no more. All you got to do is say, look, I got this building over here. Send your kids here. We're going to open up the building. We need you, then you guys send your kids. And for every kid we get $15,000 per year. Shit, you send, he would have got 1,000 kids. That'd have been, what is that? $15 million a year. That's enough for him to run his school. That's enough. And we had 1,000 kids. Guess what? We got 1,000 kids. That's actually more than that. Or is it? I don't know. But that's actually, if you take that 15,000, I think that's 150 million, I think. Anyway, I can't do the math. But regardless, what if he got $100 million budget for kids, for school? He ain't got to add, this is the tax dollars that we're already paying in that rent. You get what I'm saying that you pay, or that mortgage that you pay. That shit is already coming out your taxes anyway. But right now, what's going on is the evils of it is the teacher union is protecting the jobs of the teacher union. One of the most powerful unions in Washington is being protected by the Democrats. They've married themselves to the Democrats because the Democrats are quote unquote for the little guy, and they don't give a fuck about your kids. So your kids are graduating, can't read, and nobody gives a fuck. And black people at the bottom. And when you try to say school choice, you know what they turn around and say? Who's to say parents are actually able to pick a better school than we are? Well, shit, we at the bottom. What's going to be better than what can happen? We're going to be at the bottom and can't read at a basic level? Shit, we'll at least get the same results. But what if black people who really give a shit and say, hey, I'll be a school teacher, but I need to make at least $100,000. Now you got jobs where you can get that type of money because it changes, it creates a whole ecosystem. See, this is what school choice would do for black people, right? So school choice, building a border, right? H-1B visa. I run an IT academy. I train school Monday through Thursday and on Saturday mornings. My students graduate after 3 months after they pass my interview process. They go out, they interview for jobs. They get jobs. I've had students getting $50 to $60 an hour. I've had it. I've had students getting $40. I had students getting $30, $35. But this is a lot of money coming from, the money that black people usually make. That's a lot of damn money. That empowers black people. You see what I'm saying? I know black brothers that have started businesses, fixed their credit, to change their whole lives around because they were able to acquire a real viable skill that is in demand in the market. Get what I'm saying? But if the demand, I told my students, get ready because if Trump wins and this visa thing goes through, guys, the rates are gonna go up. Number one. Secondly, there will be a demand in America for American born. You know why? Because there's just not that many Indians in this country. People from the country of India. There's just not going to be that many people here to take those damn jobs. And that means that out in these rural areas, for example, like I said, I'm a database developer in Georgia. If you go out into these rural areas of Georgia, there's a place that I went on an interview for. It's out there off I-20, out there in Conyers, right? I rolled my ass way out there. It's a lighting place. I forget the name of it, right? Then there was a shipping company, not shipping, but they make boats. They based out of Japan. I interviewed with them. I'll go in there's nothing but Indians, man. I'm talking about the whole company's white. You got a few blacks in other departments, but the tech part is nothing but white people. You're like, well, why is that gonna help black people? Because I mean, shit, they ain't gonna do nothing but hire a bunch of white people. Yeah, they are. They are because it's they shit. But there's going to be a spike in black people getting tech jobs, because I myself, having ran an IT academy for almost 3 years now, have spoken to thousands of black people. And I'm literally saying about 1 in 3, 1 in 4 of these people have degrees, bachelor's degrees, associate's degrees, certificates with Cisco, with all these different. These people would be able to get a job if it weren't for them going on interviews with a bunch of Indians and they're being gatekeepers looking out for their own. Telling you what I know, not what I think. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, some jobs won't hire you because you got bad credit. That's usually banking, but you know, I have literally across the street from a middle school, but I can't enroll my children until I'm hired as some kind of consultant. They're a C school, and they were in A school. They're at a C school. Damn, that's crazy. You see what I'm saying? That'll disrupt a lot of that shit too. These property values are really hinged upon this education system and zoning. That'll break a lot of that shit up. A lot of y'all can trip about that gentrification shit. This will really stop a lot of that shit. If black kids can just go and drop right into downtown Decatur right here, not too far from where I live at, and go to these damn quality schools with these white kids, oh, that's gonna fuck everything up. Oh shit, I got a $800,000 house and now half the school is black now. Damn, they gonna lower the value. That shit gonna fuck up. It's gonna. They don't want that. That's why I'm telling you, establishment liberals don't want their kids. What did Biden say? I don't want my kids going to a jungle with black kids. Like, Biden don't want that shit. You think he wanted his kids going to the same school as black kids? Hell no. So these are just 3 or 5. I'm giving you 3 examples of why the baby boom generation really hurt us, because they still voting. And I can sit all this down and explain this to a baby boomer. They'll agree with everything I say, and then they'll still go vote for Joe Biden because Trump is racist. You know, and I'm like, well, didn't I just showed you Biden did this and did that? He said it was a jungle. He said, ain't he racist too? Yeah, he is too. Well, then, well, shit, now we getting into policy then, because if they both racist, we getting into policy. Now, what policies have Biden explained that have helped people? You know what I'm saying? I've been on this video for 52 minutes, and brother talking about Biden 2020. You can't see what I'm saying? You're not going to convince people. He might be trolling, but he might be serious. And he might live in a swing state. You see what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. I make some good point. What do I think that we as black people can change? I think, first of all, school choice is very good for black people. I think that is a very good move. Creating diversity in our education system for black kids is only going to serve to better us, because we're at the bottom right now, and 48% of us can't even read at a basic level. That basic is like, I think, 2nd, 3rd grade. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? What is it? 86% of us can't even read at a proficient level, because that includes those that can't read at a basic level. So that's bad. You know what I'm saying? If you that bad, you're not. If you can't, what is it? They say 1 in 7 or 1 in 8 of us graduate college ready in the core subjects when we graduate. 1 in 8. So what about the ones that go to college and they ain't college ready? They're gonna go to school, they're gonna struggle, and they're gonna get messed up, man, with a burden with a bunch of debt. This shit'll help us in so many ways. Like this shit will bleed over into debt, student loans, all that shit. We get caught up with that shit because we go to these colleges, we beg, we want to be let into these universities in Stanford and Yale and all that shit. And you get in there, your ass ain't even academically able to compete. I know people that drop out of college. A lot of black people do. A lot of us don't finish college. We have these delusions, we're delusional. We think we're better than the HBCU. We don't want to go to one of our colleges. Hell no. So we try to get our ass into these schools, and then we wind up struggling. And what happens? What's up, sister?
Yeah, you are definitely, this has been a great topic. We have a lot of engagement happening in the chat room. I'm wondering if you feel comfortable with me dropping the link and having someone come up and maybe ask some questions
Yeah.
directly to you.
I could probably come back one more day later this week, because I gotta go to the doctor. I gotta go to Sandy Springs, and I got my little son down there. He done probably told her done couch up, and his daycare is shut. So he's been good. He had came up here and done. He hadn't bothered me. He been good. and I'm gonna probably grab him something to eat. Then I'm gonna come back and I got some more work to do because I work from home. So um,
Okay, because I was just going
it,
to say maybe for about 10 more minutes. I didn't know if.
I mean, I do 10 more. Go ahead, I'll do it.
Okay, all right. So I'm
All
just
right,
going to drop the link, and literally about 10 minutes we're gonna end the live.
okay.
But thank you so much for being a guest today. This has been incredibly engaging. I didn't even need to come back up and engage. You definitely handled the room, and the topic of education, like I said, is so near and dear to me because I'm an educator, and I live across the street from a middle school, and they're always calling about, hey, you need to enroll those children, and I'm like, not until you guys get that score up. I can't.
Okay.
I
All
can't
right.
enroll these kids. So one moment, let me drop the link, you all. So Naima, if you want to come up, or Diamond Princess, I think Snuggles might still be in the room. Tanjan, you had some great comments. Let me go ahead and drop that link.
Oh man. Let's see what we got. Snuggles, you look familiar. I think I've seen you on my channel before. I'm like I said, man. I'm prayerful that things will go through. I think school choice will be a big thing. I think building the wall, H-1B visas. Those are the three things I think that really will benefit Black people. I don't. Those are real tangible things. I don't think we're in a position where I hear people talking about tangibles 2020. Oh, I'm not voting. You're not in a position to ask for physical tangibles. You're just not. Um, you're just not in a position to ask for physical tangibles. You're not, man. I hope ain't nobody brave because I don't really feel like debating. I really don't. But like I said, man, we're not in a position politically to ask for tangibles right now. We can ask for it because of our vote, but we're not in a position to ask for real tangibles. We're not. They don't give a shit. They're like, man, I win without you. They don't really think like that. So if you really want to get something, I think right now choosing something and then coming and engaging the process later, when now you got school choice, now you got walls built, now you got limitations on who and what can be, you know, done. Then you can start saying, hey, I need this, I need that, I need this physical, tangible something. And that's different. So that's how I look at it. But I don't think a lot of people are asking for tangibles because I think, well, I think a lot of people are asking for tangibles. I think it just, we're not in a position to really get them. I really just don't think that way. You there, Courtney? Hello? Hello? You
Yeah,
there?
absolutely think you are so right when you say that, that we aren't in a position, though we talk amongst ourselves as though we are. Listen, the one thing that I really took away from when I was a councilwoman in Miami was that black votes only matter to black politicians. The white candidates didn't worry about going after black votes. It was black people that were worried about the black votes. And I tell you, once I realized that, I said, hey, well, let me go where the voting is stronger, not where the black base is stronger. But it is a funny dynamic, especially in Southern politics, that white voters do see who black people cater to, or who black people like, but they don't necessarily go after that same base. I think that's why, honestly, Joe Biden held up as long as he did. But I don't know if you caught it. And we're closing out here, folks. So thank you so much for everybody that participated. But I did have my dad on last week, and he is a boomer.
Hmm.
And, some of the same things that you said, we actually had that discussion. And he was basically saying, yeah, he realized that job employment dropped during Obama. It dropped for salary. It leveled out, for hourly, he realized that the um, the Democratic push. My dad is a an Air Force vet. He realized that the integration and the Democratic push actually lulled us to sleep. He talked about the civil rights movement not being as effective with progressing us as it should have been, and he still said at the end of all of that, "I'm gonna vote for Biden." So I'm gonna close out with that. I love this conversation. You guys know politics is near and dear to my heart. It is my family legacy. It is something that I like to engage with. Of course, challenging viewpoints, but at the same time, just viewpoints that are going to challenge you, but also allow a different perspective. I always call it having a prism perspective when you are problem solving and looking for solution execution, not just problem awareness. So, with that being said, I want to thank you so much, Subzero, for coming on. I'm going to give you the last word, and we are going to close. You can close us out. Thank you again.
Okay. I'm gonna say this, guys. Whenever you solve for zero, you have to use both sides of an equation. When you do math, we've all had to solve for zero. If you're gonna put not divide by zero, not divide or do what you got to do and follow the steps to get to the answer and the solution of an equation, and you're only going to try to stay on one side, then you're going to lose. Man, black people are losing. The boomer generation. My mom is one of them too, so trust me. Um, you could talk about the Russian, the Russian stuff and all the stuff that they done found out about Biden's son. People don't care. They literally putting a crook. They trying to vote to have a crook put in the White House, a literal crook who's been found out to be stealing money and screwing the American people over, and yet black people still want to vote him in. Now that is not only immoral, that's on another level. And I fear God too much to be out here on the side of evil like that. And I'm not saying Donald Trump is perfect at all, but when it's like that, where it's clear, like it's one thing if you just don't like a person, it's another thing when a person is outright avowed evil in a lot of different areas, like just done a lot of this guy literally it was at his convention talking about I'm gonna push I'm gonna push transgender stuff in, and when I get in I'm gonna like go on his website. He literally saying he gonna push for all schools to have unisex bathrooms with whatever sex you want to be and all that, man. And they going after school systems that don't employ that. They're gonna try to get them shut down. Like this man on some other shit. I just don't talk about it. Like this man, the Democrats on something else, man. Like these, and that's the thing is like black people will say all that and then talk about God this and man, no, bro, no, inconsistent. Be consistent. You know what I'm saying? Be consistent. I'm sorry. I just can't. I mean, they can try what they want to try with the White House. Good luck. Good luck getting into the White House. It's all types of shit up under there. They'll blow your ass up. You try to step one foot on that damn White House. So you try it if you want to. You know what I'm saying? That good luck. Anyway, man, y'all have a good one. God bless y'all. I gotta go, man. Gotta go cross town. Y'all have a good one.